Yeah, hello. Hi, everybody. This is Li Ciccone here, Joyful Living Soul Purpose Coach, EFT practitioner. Today, I am with my coworker, colleague in the field, Suzanne, with me. And we connected in an online coaching business group and started to chat and really shared our passion to help women, break their patterns, change their behaviors. And we both happen to help a lot of women, deal with their weight loss, emotional eating, that kind of stuff. So that's why we had our conversations like that last time. I shared with Suzanne my view and some experiences about that. And today it's Suzanne's turn to share with us. So let me introduce you with, Suzanne, now. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah.
Thanks, Jenny.
And Suzanne is a mindset coach for weight loss. I really love that. So she believes your physical body is simply a byproduct of what's going on internally. That's actually, I'm so agree with that, resonated with that. That's why, we have our conversations now. So Suzanne's passion to help women, for weight loss really came from her own weight journey. So she came from 150 kg, right?
Yep.
So to remaining her current 72 kg, like she is right now. I appreciate your openness to share your journey. And Suzanne knows nothing, it's similar, it's no single approach to different individuals for behavior in terms of behavior changes. So she uses the mix of modalities like NLP, hypnosis, and the energy medicine, right? So she just give her clients the accountability for lasting change. So I actually, know your work. I have quite some keywords I feel like very interesting and love you to share with us. But I first really want to ask you this question because you mentioned this, that some people seem to misunderstand what you do. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
That's a great question. Thank you, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to overcome that with my title, hence weight loss mindset and all that sort of stuff. Because traditionally when we hear weight loss, we think calories in, calories out. So a lot of people think
Yeah.
that I'll tell them what to eat and how to exercise. And
Yeah.
for the people that I work with, they know what to do, they just don't do it. And like I was the same, like for many of us, we have researched this, we have read up on this, we probably know more than some, qualified nutritionist dietitians. Like we have read everything. It's not a knowledge issue. It's
Yeah.
an action issue. So the misnomer, like when people come to see me or when people first come across me, is it's like, oh, she's just going to tell me what to eat. I don't actually cover what to eat at all,
Yeah.
and I also don't
Yes.
do weigh-ins. The weight loss coach who doesn't do weigh-ins, because the thing is, as I said, what appears externally, our bodies are a representation of what's going on internally, and when we address those things, the weight tends to take care of itself naturally. Whereas when we're just focusing on the scale and what we eat and how we move, and we're obsessed with the external,
Yeah.
we aren't addressing the internal that's driving that behavior. So it works for a while until it doesn't.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. That's why we are here, right? We connected this
Yes.
way just because we share this concept. I cannot agree more with that internally. So yeah, thank you for addressing that. And I know you are I already just mentioned, you're very open about your weight journey. So I would say if you could have the time going back to your 18 years old. So I really love you to share with us this question, then what you would say, back then about that journey.
That's a fascinating question. My initial thought would be like, I would try and explain it all, but if I'm really honest, I think I needed to go through all that. I think so many times we think if I knew then what I knew now and all this sort of stuff, but every part of our journey, every experience we've had, whether good, bad, painful, they help shape who we are. So on initial thought, on the surface thought, I'd be like, oh, I could go and tell her everything and she wouldn't have to go through all this. But if that had happened, I wouldn't be the person I am now. I wouldn't have the passion I have for this work. And honestly, I don't think I really would have been ready to hear it. Like, would have been like, oh yeah, whatever, that person's crazy, So
yes.
I think it can be easy to sit and in reflection and maybe perhaps beat ourselves up for all the things that we've done wrong. But I think those experiences help shape who we become. So I don't think I'd actually change anything, and that's a really big thing to say, because although it was a struggle, like I lost 43 kilos when I was like 19,
Wow.
and I gained it all back. And then I lost 60 kilos when I was in my early 20s and gained all that back. And I felt like such a failure. And those experiences are hard to reflect on, but they set up for the realizing that it was never about what I ate and how I moved and all that sort of stuff. And without that knowledge, I don't think I would have had the lasting results that I've had. So yeah, honestly, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I love that. So true. That's why, we shared our, common value. And also we talked last time, like, it shaped us and come out, do the work we have passion to do now to serve others. And it becomes our purpose.
Yes.
Really, so finally, because we are aligned. And I saw your pictures. I'm so blown away and, impressed. Especially hard part is keep maintaining, right? Lasting change. So that will be another question. But now I would say, yeah, I put it down, actually use your word. You have been, upfront, about how life isn't unicorns and rainbows. And now that you're at your goal weight already, right? So what inspires you to keep going still? Even though sometimes, yeah, with your, weight journey still, even though you mentioned that, once in a while you still feel like struggled a bit, but who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So it's true. So what just keeps you going, inspires you to make lasting, maintaining change? That's really hard part.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good question, because when you're on a weight loss journey and you're moving towards a goal and you see yourself getting smaller and you're buying smaller clothes and you're taking your measurements, because I don't weigh in any longer, you can see the progress. When you reach your goal weight, you don't have that drive as such, and things can happen, because you can think, maybe I just need to drop a bit more, like, maybe I just need to drop a bit more weight, or maybe I need to get toned, so it can be, I think a big thing about it is to start to look for the things that you can enjoy today wherever you are, because there isn't that. And I loved how you quoted me, unicorns and rainbows, because you think there's this magical land of after, like there's before and there's after. And we're sold that in magazines, in your blogs and articles, and when it actually happens and you reach your goal weight, it can be a bit like, oh, not is that it? Like, it's just, and it's really hard to talk about, because people assume, oh, you must be this and you must be that, but you still do. You just take up less space. And then it's like the habits that you have created, that you have crafted to become the you that you are now, you need to keep going with those, like, because if you don't, the results will stop. So I think that's another reason I'm really passionate about how you get to your goal is how you will keep it. So if you're doing pills, powders, and potions, I'm not knocking those things, or excessive exercise. I've been there too. If you don't keep that up, the results won't last. So it can kind of be like, oh, this is me now, and I'm not magically one of those people who loves running or loves kale or like the fitness people. I really admire them, but I've just got to accept that that's not me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's that keeping up with the habits and being mindful of when you start to slip back. Like I think letting go of that perfect, like life's going to be magical and everything's going to be easy. You still have the struggles, but you have the tools and the awareness that, when the old habits start to creep back in, I need to be a bit more mindful, or I need to move a bit more, or I need to, I don't like the term watch what I'm eating, but be aware of if what I'm eating is nourishing, or if what am I eating is, in reaction to what's going on externally. So I think it's
internal stuff. I just wanted to mention, yes, especially a lot of emotions.
Yes.
Eating helps us, right? Eating our bodies.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so true. Wow. So yeah, and so hearing you, answering this question, really it keeps, reminding people, again, it's not just surface levels, surface issues, eating, whatever. It's really still quite some internal stuff, and go to the root to find your inspiration. It's about you. I love that. Yes. And of course, when you do your work, you have a lot of stories, client stories or so. Love you to share with us, like, do you have any, maybe one single story who, one of your clients who really touched your heart? Because I, heard you mention. So love you to share with us that story, if it's okay for you.
Yeah, sure. I deliberately don't post a lot of testimonials and things about my work, not because I don't have them, but because a weight journey is very sensitive and personal. And for me, myself, as I said, I've been a client, I've dropped weight before. You kind of become the poster child for that place. And I don't ever want to put anybody up as like, the poster child for having worked with Suzanne. They've done the work, and I feel sometimes testimonials and stuff take credit for that. So I don't share numbers and I don't share things like that, because it's not about that so much. It's so much deeper. But what really happens when I work with people, and there's thinking of one story in particular, there was a client and she kind of, she, not meaning to sound negative, a wannapreneur. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm an entrepreneur now. I finally own that. For a long time, I was a wannapreneur too. And she felt, because of her weight, she didn't feel comfortable doing Facebook Lives, doing videos. And for those of us who work from home, it's a big part of our business. It's how we're seen. It's how we're discovered. Like those of you who are watching this now, you're watching our video. And from working together, she got more confident to appear, and it wasn't like she had to sit in the cocoon and reveal. She started doing the videos quite early on and build that confidence to show up. And I think that's the big thing I get from people that I love is that safe to be seen as you are, not having to wait until you're the after from the before and after. And your message is potent and powerful exactly as you are, and you can be, and it's a quote from Sophia Bush, which I love, but both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. And I think that the client stories that I have from people who are like, I was holding back on what I wanted to do because of my appearance and fear of judgment because of my appearance, but now I'm just showing up, and that really warms my heart.
Wow, thank you for that. That's such an important piece, element for every single of us. Actually, really, just like you said, it's not really about the weight, about the food, nutrition, eating. It's really a lot of internal stuff, the self-esteem, feels comfortable as who we are. Who we are is already unique enough, good enough. And then, shift that internal perspective when we feel comfortable. And then, they forgot about, don't focus on the body, on the weight, that thing, right? So that's
Yes.
beautiful story. Thank you. And you also mentioned that you use mix of modalities, right?
Yep.
But you mentioned that, one client actually, after you work with, then, it's like kind of change your practice a little bit. Is that right? You mentioned.
Oh, how it evolves from the
Change
people I
your
work with.
practice.
Yes.
Yes.
So a lot of practitioners, and this is not knocking them, everybody, you do you is a
Yeah.
saying that I work by, but they work by their modality. Like, I am this, I'm this practitioner. And I don't actually lead with my modalities, and the only time they come out is when people read my bio, because it is a mix. And I think sometimes if we've had a bad experience with a modality in the past, like me personally, on my weight journey, I came across an NLP practitioner. I didn't have a good first experience with NLP. I really thought it was crap. And then I met someone else, and I was coaching with her, and then I was like, this is NLP, isn't it? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, and I think this is crap. And then that being honest of like what's happened, because I think sometimes we, especially the people I work with, because I'm the same, bit of the people pleaser, we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to like look like we're knocking something, and then we don't get the result. And it's not ever about the practitioner. I mean, a practitioner-client relationship, the client, it's client focused. So I'm really encouraging of people to say, like, I don't get this. This is doing nothing for me. Because if you're keeping quiet and just going, oh, I don't want to make Suzanne unhappy, then you're not going to get the shift. And sometimes like our conscious, and as you know in your work too, our conscious and our subconscious. So our conscious is like, it's just crap. I'm just not getting this. And we can't get through that to what's going on underneath.
Oh, totally.
Ingrained, So from a lot of my work and from clients, like people saying, I just don't get this. Like, just that real frustration excites me, because it's that breakthrough. It's like, okay, now we can get to the deep stuff. So I'm not attached to any of my modalities, in that I'm not going to be offended if you're like, this is dumb. But there's a difference between that and being uncoachable. Like, I just, I don't want to do anything. Like, if you're really honestly trying and going, I see nothing, I hear nothing, I feel nothing, great, let's move through that resistance, as opposed to,
yes. Oh, I love you mentioned that. Because, in my work, it's kind of similar principle. We just have to be real, because any internal stuff, you call them internal stuff, I use, feelings, thoughts, self-talk, they carry energy. Even you don't speak them out, they are there.
Yes.
So when you keep doing this, but actually you think you don't believe it could work, and it creates conflict. When the conflict created, it just fights inside, and of course it doesn't work. Maybe even cause more stuckness. So this is a great point. Yeah, thank you. And then when you bring it up and say, this doesn't work or so, and then you can support them to find out what is the resistance, or what is the thing. So that actually is powerful, to finally be real, and then just open up the field and help us to discover. Wonderful, thank you. And based on your approach in your work, just because you use different mix of modalities, so you actually work your way, with membership program, something like that, right? So even though I didn't know that much yet, but I just can see this will be really aligned also with what you just shared with us, because in this membership program you have longer term or so. Can you share a bit with us? How do you do, and your clients really get benefit from that?
Yeah, sure. So I have a membership program called Why Wait, and it's a W
and what?
Why Wait, like as in why? What are you waiting for?
Okay.
but it's W and 8. It's like an upright infinity symbol, because it's not actually about the weight on your body. It's more waiting. Like, I'll wait till, you know, after Christmas or after my birthday, or when the kids are at school, you know.
Okay.
And we have, it's a group program. It's monthly. We have some pre-recorded modules which talk about my philosophy and a lot of the practices that I teach. They're short because, you know, people, I'm aware of time. I'm a mum of 2 young kids who you may randomly hear out the door right now. So it's very time efficient. And then we have, they have workbooks that go with them and journaling prompts about, you know, taking you inwards and stuff. But we also have live calls, because I know a lot of us, we sign up with gusto when we're really excited, and then when we're faced with actually doing the work, it's like, oh, that resistance, you know, starts to appear. So we have the live calls at 4 different times per month to allow for time zones. I'm in Australia. I have clients in the US and the UK, as well as in Australia. And in those calls, we tend, the format changes, but it tends to be like an introduction, a grounding, a celebration of what we've done since the last call. I think with weight, it's really powerful to celebrate every step along the way, not just when you get your goal. Because for me, that was a 78 kilo journey. That's a long time. Do you know what I mean? So you can celebrate turning up to the call. You can celebrate going to bed a bit earlier. You can celebrate having extra water, all the little things that bring the big things. Then we do usually some form of group meditation or hypnosis that I guide everybody through. And then we do some journaling, because a lot of us know that journaling's powerful, and I'm the same, doing it on our own. Oh, I'll just fix this, just clean the kitchen, I'll just tidy up, I'll help the kids. And then, you know, we put ourselves last. So we do it live on the call, open up to shares as much as people feel comfortable, because sometimes I get it, you don't want to share in community, and that's okay. And then we have just general Q&A, like little things that have come up during the week or since the last call, and get the group think tank. So it's not just the Suzanne show, it's a really a community feel, and we all weigh in. So and we also have fun, because weight loss is always often shown to be boring and a trudge. So we have a scavenger hunt, which is basically each month I set a theme. We're in July as we're filming this, so it's jump in July. And there's 24 activities. It's not, you don't have to do it, it's optional. And you do the activity and you post a photo and you share in the group. And then at the end of the month, I send a prize. Like, I'll draw a winner out and I'll send something in the post, because I think there's something exciting about getting something in the mail. So that's how we run it.
Yeah. Wow. It sounds really fun already, you know, sounds to me. And I love that title. Why wait? Yes, it really also aligns to what you said, and also my people. It's like, I know what to do and I know what to stop doing, but I'm just not doing anything.
Exactly.
So that kind of thing, right? Yeah. So why wait? Yeah, that's great. And then you mentioned your children, you know, quite often. I know, you know, it's fabulous and amazing. You handle it really well. But I also heard that, you know, your children know, you know, your work, what you do. How do they describe, you know, your work?
We had a call in the group that you and I are both in, the business group, and my son appeared, and the facilitator George said, "Oh, what does Mummy do, Casimir?" And he's like, "She talks to people on a screen." That cracked me up. He was 4 at the time. He's just turned 5. And my daughter's auntie's like, she makes videos and people give her money for it. So she's 7, so she's decided she wants to be a YouTube sensation. I was like, it doesn't quite go like that, but my children are a big part of my life, obviously, but I don't separate them from my work, because I think often with weight we tend to put ourselves in a vacuum and think, oh, I deal with my weight here, but it's in every part of our lives. And I think the people who go to The Biggest Loser, or one of those like fat camps, I've been once, no judgment, it's easy to, when you focus on yourself and you've got no other external worries, like no job, no kids, like you're in this place, but then you come home and try and integrate that into your whole life, and then it's just another thing to beat yourself up about. So my kids often turn up, they're very interactive, and I'm really encouraging of people to, you know, to really embrace that, because when we're trying to fix ourselves and then, you know, have that separate, change doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's
so true. so true. Yeah, thank you for sharing that because I can relate it so much. I'm a mother too, and we women especially, just carry so many roles in life. And so really we cannot isolate, separate, anything. So
Exactly.
I love the word, embracing. We just have to embrace it. And this is about life itself. So you do, even though weight loss, but still life. And then me, joyful living, soul purpose, and then it's life. It's not only me joyful, and joyful also means, sometimes we will struggle and feel upset, whatever. It's just natural human thing. And appreciate you embrace your children, into your work, and the topic is it's hilarious, funny. Just to talk to the screen. Great, great. Thank you so much. We know we have a lot of, information or so, but for today, I think we have to just cut it, for the day.
Yep.
And I love our talk, and we share so much more. Probably, we'll see, we could maybe come back to talk more about this
Definitely.
sustainable steps, lasting change, because I'm really interested in knowing your approach and also love to contribute and share mine. But for today, thank you so much again for sharing.
Thank you,
And thank
Jenny.
you, everybody. Thank you for our audience to watch. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.